Hola amigos, bienvenidos al episodio 7. Welcome to our 7th episode. Between four amigos. Entre cuatro amigos. I'm Lily. I'm here with my husband and my friends.
Jasmine.
Isaías.
And I'm Eli. Hi, guys.
And this episode today is sponsored by Make a Memory Photo Booth. Hit us up for any weddings, birthdays, quinceañera, or any other party you want to throw. We don't judge. ¿Cómo es eso que dice? ¿Qué es?
Vemos, no juzgamos.
No juzgamos.
Yeah.
So in este caso, vemos, escuchamos, y no juzgamos. So in this case, it would be we see, we hear, but we don't judge, okay? So make sure to give us a follow as well. We're on Instagram and TikTok at Make a Memory PB, which stands for Photo Booth, at gmail.com. So, how's everybody's week going along today?
Doing good.
Doing
How's
good
everybody's
too.
week?
Had a
Doing
pretty
good.
good week.
It's cold.
Cold
It is
today.
cold.
It's freezing today. And week was good. I'm like, it's always busy.
Yeah.
Always.
Always busy.
That's what I was telling you.
Week and weekends are
Yep.
busy. I'm like, it's
Seriously.
nonstop all the time.
I'm glad you guys are all doing good.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Again, thank you so much for joining us. And for those who have been following us since episode 1,
Oh, yes.
much appreciated. Thank you,
Clap.
guys.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ah,
Thank
sí,
you.
bye.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it so much. It's tough to do because of all this traveling and time put into it. So we all do
We do.
appreciate you tuning in and listening to us. Also, I want to give a shout out to _create, which is KRE, the number 8 on Instagram. Follow this person. Why? Check out these shirts
Yes.
you made.
Woo!
Nice looking shirts. Thank you,
Good quality.
Kristen.
Our official
Again,
logos now.
yes, this is our official logo.
logos right
So
here.
you're gonna be seeing this all over the place,
Yes.
right?
All over. All
So
around
thanks a
LA,
lot, Kristen.
Hawaii.
Again, follow her at _KRE and then the number 8. She does everything pretty much.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
so she'll help you out. She'll hook you up. And also for the Make a Memory photo booth, if you do mention Between 4migos, either via code or if you call, then we'll give you a 25% discount on your deposit. Okay,
Wow.
Nice.
That's
so
good.
make sure you follow us. Again, any parties, anything you want to
Yes.
do, Make a Merry Photo Booth, we'll hook you up.
Make sure you feed us. I'm just kidding.
Save a plate for you.
Save a plate for us. So we get
And a drink.
Mhm.
A drink.
So-
Like,
This episode, we're going to be speaking about extraterrestrials.
button for that.
For the music.
So, I don't know how you guys feel about aliens per se, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys believe in them. I'll tell you my opinion. I do believe in them. You know,
Yeah, they're
Mr.
out there.
Scientific
Oh, he's
believes
scientific.
in alien?
yes,
Yeah.
of course. There's a lot of proof out there.
There's beings.
Yes, I mean, it's been happening since what?
Way back in the days.
Since
Well, it's all over.
Since mankind.
Yeah.
Back then, I've seen
Well,
shows.
Think
and
about
things.
it back. We can
Okay.
personally say when we went to Chichen Itza, that we went to go see the
Oh, the
Mayan ruins.
Yeah. the Mayan
So you know, in the ruins, like in their
Mhm.
pyramids, there's drawings. You
Yes,
know that they
yes, I've
drew,
seen that.
and there was these beings that would
Right.
come from the alien
Right.
that had like huge heads,
Sí, sí,
cone
sí.
heads. So think of that time.
Of course.
It goes
So,
all the way back.
look, you have extraterrestrials, UFOs, and then where there's a lot of proof and people have seen versus like Bigfoot or Sasquatch. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
hardly any people have seen
Yeah.
any Bigfoot, so there you're a little bit more skeptical.
Yeah.
But when it comes to alien, man, I'm all in.
Yeah.
I believe in those
It's
dang
crazy.
things.
Do you guys believe
Yeah.
in them?
Yeah.
I believe in
Yeah.
I think that everything. I mean, if we live in this planet, there has to be other beings
That's what he
Right.
said.
and other planets. You know.
Yeah,
Not to
and
mention
definitely.
in the same on Earth where
Yeah.
the Arctic Circle is. You know,
Mhm.
they say there's other civilizations
Yeah.
outside that people talk about.
And who knows what's out there? Obviously, the government's not going to tell us, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-mm.
They're going to keep it all secret.
Yeah.
So,
Plus underwater, there's a lot of things.
That's
there.
what a lot of people believe that their
And
their
they-
spaceships
it's been
are
recorded.
underwater.
Yeah.
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
You have these Navy battleships out there recording, and all of a sudden they see these UFOs just either shoot into the water or shoot out of the water.
Right. Yeah.
So how do you explain that, right?
Yeah, that's where the
Scientific.
For
I'm just
sure.
kidding.
You would scientifically have to figure that out.
So I do believe in them. I actually had I only have one experience
Mm-hmm.
of aliens, and that was maybe this was 6-7 years ago. I was leaving the house with Lily on passenger side. We were driving. And as a matter of fact, we were having an argument that day. As I
Whoa.
remember, yeah, she was on me,
I don't remember.
I had my Fuji face looking out the window.
What did you do for me to argue with you?
That's another subject. So, and that's the reason why we stopped at a stoplight.
I don't remember.
So, you know how we were kind of pissed off at each other. I'm looking to my left, whatever.
I'm
Outside
looking
the
to
window.
my right.
Well,
Avoiding each other.
the
Yeah,
light
it's like
turns
body
green,
language.
right? It seemed like forever. But as I was looking outside the window, I saw like a cigarette-shaped, all chrome.
Mm-hmm.
And this was, I know there were, ¿cómo se llama la?
Blimps?
No.
No.
So these damn
Drones.
Yeah,
Drones.
the drones. Drones existed, but this thing didn't have any propellers, nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a kind of like Tic Tac shape,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it was all chrome. I saw it. I'm like, what the heck is that? Then a truck
Oh,
went by.
I remember now.
A truck went by and distorted my view.
Mm-hmm.
And once the truck went by, it was gone, right?
Disappeared.
Yeah. I know how reflections look in a window.
Uh-huh.
There was no reflections. I wasn't wearing a
It
watch.
was
or
in the
anything.
daytime or in the nighttime?
It was daytime.
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 What? In the daytime?
Yeah.
Because usually people
So-
see them in the night,
Yes.
always.
And
Well,
it happened
this
in the
been a-
same city. What city was this? Was
This
it
was in
Murrieta, right?
Murrieta,
Yeah.
Oh.
This was in the
remember
daytime. I looked at it in, because I'm used to seeing planes. I'm used to seeing helicopters. I'm used to seeing drones and a bunch of stuff, especially in the military. So this didn't have nothing. It was like a Tic Tac shape, and it was chrome. And all of a sudden, it was there. I looked at it. The truck went by, and it was gone. So. For me, I do believe in aliens, and for me, that had to be some sort of UFO. Because
Yeah.
I couldn't explain it.
Did you look it up afterwards? Like try to find
Well,
an image that looked like
There
that?
has been images and shows about Tic Tac shaped UFOs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that came to mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I imagined it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my experience with
And because
UFO.
he was mad, I don't think he made a big deal. Like, babe, look,
I know,
think
I would've
he
been
was
freaking out, or like,
he was
what is
mad
that?
and
O hubieras
I would've
sacado el
ignored him.
teléfono,
Well, this is the
grabado.
thing. I didn't want to take my eyes off of it.
Oh,
Because I was
okay.
still kind of...
In disbelief, you were
I
like,
remember.
You're trying to
And
process
disbelief.
what
I'm
it
like,
was
it
like.
can't be. This is not a plane. This is
Uh-huh.
not a helicopter. This is not that.
Así me acuerdo.
And once I realized what it was, the truck came by
Mm-hmm.
and it started my view and it went away. So
Yeah.
Wow.
But a lot of
it's
things-
kind of weird though.
A lot
It
of
was
things
weird.
have happened in Murrieta, I think. So
Yeah.
I
Is it
have
a
a story.
hotspot? It's a hotspot for
I'm assuming.
alien activity.
I'm not one that I don't say I don't believe, but I always say, but the Bible doesn't talk about other existence and other planets.
Well,
you
see,
know?
for me, I don't think the Bible talks about
a lot of things.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
Or the Bible would be how many pages? Freaking 1,000,000 pages big.
Yeah, and I think he asked my brother-in-law of ours that he's a pastor, but he has a master's in ¿cómo se dice teología en inglés? Theology.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked him, "What is your opinion on this? What is this?" And he's like, "You know what? So that's a good question, because although the Bible doesn't talk about it, but what was the purpose of creating other planets, other galaxies?
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
the
for
point
sure.
of it? You know, just like they probably wonder about us
Mm-hmm.
if there's life on
And
Earth,
that's why
you
they're
know,
here
to see.
to watch us,
Yeah.
to observe us.
So, as y'all know, I grew up in a Christian home, both parents ministers, and things that si no era lógico, if it wasn't logic, or if it wasn't the Bible, then it's not gonna happen. That's how I grew up, right? And I think you did too in the same way. So, this was years ago. Obviously, as you guys know, both of my parents have passed away. But years ago, my mom called me. It was probably like about 9:30 at night. They live in Murrieta. They used to live in Murrieta. Where they used to live like their sliding window was facing a mountain towards the back of Murrieta. Like, how would you say
It's like
Like
hills.
hills.
It was a
There's-
retirement
Country-
home.
So their house
countryside?
had views of
Country-
the hills?
Of hills, yes.
Oh, okay.
So their house had
There were
the
hills in
views.
the distance. and-
Yeah. So she called me. She's like, hija, which is daughter, I'm seeing some weird lights outside. I said, outside where? She said, my window. I said, in your window? A reflection, a car? She says, no, I'm going to take a video of it. Okay. She goes, but they're weird. I'm like, okay, ella decía rara, pero rara how? Weird what? She goes, there's like 4 lights. And Eliseo's like, scientific here. No, babe, it's probably her imagination. She's probably seeing a glare. He didn't believe it.
It's helicopters,
Well,
a
not
plane.
that you didn't believe it, but you thought she was probably confused with something else. Maybe, sometimes they ponen those lights in the sky.
Oh, yeah.
That's
for like the airplanes and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Okay. She showed us. No, I don't think we saw her right away, or something happened that I remember.
Well, she said she was going to record.
She was going to record them.
Yeah.
We forgot about it, to be honest. We didn't pay much attention to it.
With a phone? Or?
Yeah, with her phone.
It was a flip phone back
A flip
then.
phone back
Oh,
then.
dang.
Well,
So,
the quality.
Badass
That's
quality,
why
huh?
a lot of videos that
Yes.
were surfacing
From, like, the
from
80s
back
and
then, they didn't
90s.
believe it because of the quality of the phones.
Right.
yes. So, mind you, they live in a retirement community, which were like townhomes. So, my mom passes away. Her belongings. I have her phones. Okay, so I have them with me. So one time we were watching a documentary on, what is it called? The UFO documentary. So that channel, right?
Yeah, there was this documentary I was watching about this panel. A lot of people,
Yes.
professionals and high people talking about UFOs and this and that. And there was this Mexican. He used to be a reporter. I forgot his name.
Jaime?
Is it Jaime?
Jaime Mausini?
Let me see.
I
I
think
think
so.
so. Yes,
Yeah.
that was him.
Yeah, he's like a
That's
big time
Yeah.
UFO.
Yes.
Yeah.
Investigator.
Investigator.
He used to be like a
Big
reporter or
time.
something like that.
Huge.
Because there was a lot of activity like in Mexico
Mexico.
City.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, near the ruins, the Aztec
Uh-huh.
ruins.
And I think he became a believer and started and left the reporting,
News.
started
Mhm.
into
To
that.
start
Yeah.
So it was him and a bunch of other panels. So, but when it was time for him to come up and speak, he was
Sure.
mentioning that things he couldn't explain. And while he was saying that, he mentioned, and the picture came up.
No,
of
he showed a video.
right, of those things in Marietta.
So I see the
Those
video,
lights.
and the video, and you could hear
So somebody else saw it and said,
Saw
the
Same
exact
thing.
same
Yeah.
thing.
Oh.
And in the video, it said Marietta, California.
Uh-huh.
And when I looked at the video, it was the exact same. So whoever this person was, it was a couple. They were neighbors, must have been neighbors with my parents, because they lived in the exact same side as my
Oh,
parents
same
did,
angle.
looking same
Okay.
angle. So I started looking for my mom's phone. I'm like, because I know she has that video. So yo saqué, I found the phone, I charged it, and sure enough, I was gonna bring it, but I forgot it.
Oh.
Sure enough, you see it.
Send the clip so we can post it on
yes,
YouTube.
Yeah, so these lights would come together and split.
So so I think what she said was it was 4 lights. They were like at an angle, like a triangle, and then they would get together, they separate again, and then they disappeared.
And it happened for a bit. It's not like
Uh-huh.
a quick minute or nothing.
Right.
It was there for a while. They were joining,
like exchanging
separating,
information
doing
or
something.
whatever.
Yeah.
They do different shapes, huh?
Yes,
I've
so,
seen videos
and
of that.
that community my parents lived in, they had balconies. So a lot of people see a lot of older people having their cup of coffee or their tea at night looking at the balcony. My dad used to love to do that. So he's the one that told my mom. And you could hear my dad, Mira, they're changing. Mira, they're changing. You could hear my dad's voice in the background. And then when I saw that video on that UFO channel, it said location, Marietta, California, around at the same time as my mom. So what my parents saw, that people saw. Pero se lo
Right.
mandaron a este, what's his name?
Jaime Mausini.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
put it on the show.
Yeah, I remember watching like YouTube videos about him, and he was explaining all the activities in different places
Yes.
too. Yeah, I got into it more and more after hearing from him. You know, because he was breaking it down, and it was like, oh, shit, it's interesting. And then from there, Ancient Aliens and the History Channel started coming out, and then more and more
We will
information
watch
about
that.
aliens.
There's a lot of things that can be explained.
Yeah.
I would say probably maybe 80% of those things can be explained with reflections, airplanes, whatever the case.
Right,
But then you have that 20%, that was one of them,
right.
where they couldn't explain it.
They
They're
couldn't
like,
explain it.
we
What is
called the military, we called Camp Pendleton, we called Marsh Air Force
that's
Base.
right. 'Cause they're right there.
No one was doing exercises or anything. And the way those things were moving, there's no way any aircraft or anything that we have today will move it.
I want to say it
Yeah.
was probably about 6, because it was if I remember what I
What
remember,
year was
it
it?
was a lot. Oh my god.
Maybe 18, 17, around there.
Okay.
2017,
Also, not that
Not
long
long ago.
yeah.
And maybe about 4, I think it was during the pandemic or after, I don't remember, but I was with my older daughter. We were getting Starbucks, gonna do some errands. I think I called you for that one, but we couldn't take the video. Do you remember? I'll keep on talking, maybe you'll remember. We were driving in Maria. We were driving in the city, and my daughter said, "Mom, what's that? 4 weird shaped of, it looked like a a white plane. But all of them were white. She goes, are they birds? I said, I don't know. I said, I had to pull over. By the time I got my phone, I think I did call you. Do you remember that I called you? You don't remember?
I think so, yeah.
And I said, I see
it's like it's coming together.
I see this. They're weirdly. I said, yeah, let me try to record it. By the time she tried to record it, they were gone. I think we did send you a picture, and you said, no, that can't be a bird or plane because they were too high.
Wow.
They were extremely high.
Well, did you guys hear about that case in Vegas? This was maybe 2 years ago. It went about that the kid, right? Yeah, it was like a Hispanic family, and something landed right in their backyard, and he saw an alien. Like,
an alien?
Yeah, he saw it. And so he called the police, and there's like the phone call. They put in the video the phone call and everything. The police went, no encontraron nada, but they said that kid, like that family disappeared afterwards, huh?
Really?
Yeah.
So they're like nowhere to be found now. Like they just abandoned the house and everything. So
maybe.
Conspiracies are like, was it the government that got rid of them? Because
or they didn't want them spreading.
Yes, because that thing went viral, because now of TikTok.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it on there, and you could hear the fear in the kid's like voice when he's calling the 911 dispatcher. Yeah. And he's like, it's because it's something, but like he couldn't explain what he was seeing. Yeah, because he actually saw.
Yeah.
So something happened like that in Florida too, but they were talking about it. It was kind of big, or was that something way different?
I don't remember.
Because it was like in a mall, and all kinds of cops and everybody were, trying to get everybody out.
That sounds familiar.
And they were talking about like, some weird animals or something.
Creatures, because the people don't even know. Well, they say there's different kinds of aliens, so they all look.
Yes.
Some look reptilian, some look like actual.
The government will cover. I mean, they've been covering this up since who knows when.
Well,
and they recently, this was in 2000, I think, 21, 22. I can't remember. If anybody you out there know this, but let us know. But they uncovered documents. They made them public of. Experiments they were doing back then.
Yeah, because they held some of them captive and they would experiment on them.
So, I mean, obviously the government knows.
Well, remember like in the 50s?
Yeah, because what president was the one that signed a treaty? Yeah. So story goes, because I remember hearing about this, was that he signed a treaty with the aliens because what was happening back in those days is there were being so many abductions. Like they were coming and abducting people to study them, experiment the aliens to people. So I guess his way of like bargaining with them, because they were just disappearing. Like people, if you look back into it, there's so many like documentaries
like
about
in the Midwest, no, like where there's like the fields and everything where they were doing the working.
There's no cities around there on the booties.
So people were just disappearing. So this goes back to the 50s. So the president made a treaty with them. Something along the lines like they were only able to, was it like 150? Basically, the president les dio permiso to abduct people, but there's a certain amount of people that they can take.
Hey man, keep it a 5 a year.
Yeah, I believe it was like 150 people a year or something like that.
We don't want this to go out.
Because it was like in the thousands, like people all over were disappearing because they say that they come here because they're so fascinated by us. Because they're obviously more intellectual than us.
Yes.
Or they're trying to change us.
No, they say that because we have more emotions than they have.
Yeah.
So they don't have the emotions that we have. And they all vibrate based on like frequency. Like I remember even, do you guys know who Bashar is?
No.
Oh, so I listened to him a lot.
You know who?
Bashar. So he's all about like the spirituality and all that. Like he's a person, but he goes into like this almost trance, right?
Yeah.
And he connects with an alien that's called Bashar. And so like this,
he funnels him through.
Yeah.
I think I've heard something like this. Yeah.
He knows everything.
Joe Rogan brought it up a couple times in his podcast.
Like he has workshops and like people follow him like everywhere. Like recently he was in Sedona and he had a huge workshop and people all over the world go there because they go and ask him questions like of their life, of their purpose, and he knows everything. Like he connects and how he explains everything, girl, like into the universe, the realms, the souls. But yeah, so he says like people ask him, how is it in your planet? Like, is there marriage?
And this is who they're asking
the alien. So they're connecting. Like it's like if I'm talking to you and you're channeling the alien, like he connects into him mentally and they tell him what to say. And so he said something along the lines that the aliens don't have like how we have, that we have kids and we only care for our kids, or we have a spouse. He said it's more like everyone takes care of everyone. So like one child specifically is not just your child. It's just like everyone cohabitates together, and same with spouses. They said it's different.
But at the same
They
time,
share spouses?
but you know what?
It's like there's not just
Is that a big old orgy?
Yeah, it's
but
crazy.
if you think like back in the Mayans, they would also do like when your child was born, they would define who was going to take care of them and who was going to show them.
Who was going to mentor them.
Yeah, that's what we learned in when we went.
Yeah.
So the tour guide was telling us, like if you want them to study medicine, they would send them with the older people that already study medicine.
Con los doctors,
and then whoever studied astrology and whoever studied warriors, if they were going to be warriors, as soon as they were born, they already kind of had an idea of where they needed to go to, based on the date they were born, month and everything. They studied the stars a lot.
So I feel like that the saying goes that they got all that information from aliens, like way back, because there's no way
I think
they could have known.
But you know how people say, "Oh, it takes a village to raise a child." That's kind of where the word comes from, where everybody helps each other out to grow their knowledge, because they didn't have books, they didn't have anything.
That's my saying at work. When I get credit for something, now it takes a village.
Now it's the same thing as the those cattle being mutilated.
Oh, the chupacabras?
No. Where the cattle were found mutilated with chunks of like their cheeks.
What was this?
I don't remember.
Really?
That, no.
I remember a little bit of it.
And the thing is, they were found without any blood.
Oh yes, I remember. I remember because estaban secos. They were like dried up.
Yeah, it was like all over the
weird.
place. It was so weird. And the thing is that these chunks that were taken out of these animals, they were like precision cuts. They weren't like with a laser. They weren't with scissors or knives or anything.
I remember now.
So the edges were super sharp. The reason we're laughing is because there's a flying here.
I thought it was a UFO.
Coming in here again.
Y'all don't want me UFO. I'm sick.
I don't see any lights on it.
So fly. Anyway.
And they wanted to go on Mr. Scientific.
Hey, maybe it's
El orb.
It's an
orb.
No, not an orb.
What?
It's a what is it? Technology.
Technology fly.
The alien fly.
It's an alien fly recording us.
Alguien no se ha dado el culo.
I don't know, but the flight's going to get over here. It came here and it said, no, not here. Here it smells good. Let me learn on this corner over here.
That one, that'll be.
Hey, maybe what you're saying is bullshit.
Hey,
llegó la mosca.
Es que le llegó el tufo. Le llegó tu tufo.
El tufo es tuyo.
No, cayó.
It's not on us. It's on you.
Hey, we're getting off track. Anyways, so like I was saying, all these cattle were, and this is different parts of the U.S.
Yeah.
And it was like done overnight. Let's say a farmer would come out in the morning, there were like maybe 40, 50 cows like this, right?
Imagine.
Different parts of the body missing, no blood, right? So who can do that? What people can actually do that overnight? Get rid of the blood.
Not that many.
There was no blood on the ground either.
So there was no evidence that they were mutilated or anything like that?
Yeah, they were just dead. Again, different parts missing. Sometimes legs, sometimes the tail was missing, sometimes cheeks,
but
heart,
all of them
organs.
had no blood.
No. Yeah, none of them had blood.
Wow.
So, there's nothing.
So what did they think? What was conspiracy? That it was
They still don't know. They say it has to be aliens. Because
how?
What else?
Yeah.
So quick.
Nothing else.
Isn't there a documentary that we watched that says something that we saw? I forgot what it was called, but where people would go like to. That's why I'm not going to know.
Third world countries or
national forest or those. Or what's it called? Like those places.
Like the rainforest.
Yosemite's and stuff like that. No.
Oh yeah.
And back in when was this? Like in the 40s?
National parks.
Yeah, national parks. Remember that
where
we
there's
saw?
like deep woods and stuff.
Yeah.
People were disappearing. And they were never found.
Yeah.
And there's a documentary
Peru has a
about
lot of sightings as well. Peru has a real deep.
Yeah, and the weird thing is that these people would disappear. It would feel like days would go by, but for them, it's like they were asleep for 5 minutes.
Oh,
Right.
So they're being abducted.
They're being
No, but one of them never came back. And there was no proof of
So what would these people say? The ones that would come back?
That same thing, that they were abducted, they were being experimented on, you know, all these crazy stuff. You know?
like in the 80s, no? 80s?
70s
and 80s?
It was, I think,
It was like in the 60s, 70s,
Yeah, like around that
80s,
time, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it still happens today, but now I think the government has more control.
Yeah.
And two, because I feel like there's much more control now because of the devices.
Oh yeah.
Because
of
now
course.
it's so easy for anyone
Anything.
to see anything, and
they're
trying to control that
they're
still.
monitoring that
Do you guys
shit
believe
every
in-
day closely.
Do you guys believe in Men in Black?
I
In real
do.
life?
Yes.
Yeah, to some extent, yeah.
Mhm.
I do believe in it.
You have to have, the government has to have people to clean up
Well,
stuff,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I didn't believe in them until one of my cousins used to work for a government agency.
Mm-hmm.
And she left that job because she said, no, I don't know, it's a little creepy for me. But she said that once, maybe every 4 or 5 months, literally 5 men in black, all black.
Oh, really?
You know, when you work for the government, there's always security that you have
Yeah.
to go through and clearance and all that.
Mhm.
Because there was nothing on them. They would all
Just
come in black with suitcases, walk to meetings, and walk out. And we couldn't ask no questions, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well,
And they,
look at the guy that came up with the car that can run on water.
What?
I don't know if you heard his story.
No, which
Yeah,
one?
the Men in Black came in and took all his devices, took everything, and then he
Disappeared him?
accidentally died
the guy?
of something that.
Yeah, when you hear that where they died of,
Natural causes.
or an accident,
Mm-hmm.
come on now, you know?
So I think that even the men, I think it's all connected, to be honest.
Well, because they don't want it to get out of hand. That's why they have
They
to
send them?
control it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then it gets out of hand. People know.
I
too
think
many
the fear,
people know,
it's the
and,
fear it would cause in people, you know?
Okay,
Because that's one of the things that that guy Bashar says. He says people ask him like, "Are aliens gonna make their presence?" And he's like, "They're already here." He's like, "They've been here." He's like, "But within 5 years, he's like, they're gonna officially coexist. Where like they're gonna be here. We're gonna see them physically."
And what was this? When did he say this?
He said this in 2024 in Sedona.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, 4 more years. But he was
Within.
saying within. He said
It
within
happens
5 years.
sooner or
Because he
later?
says they're already here. And he says a lot of
Well,
them
we're-
too
we're
are
like
hybrids.
yeah, we're
Do you know what I
hybrids.
mean? Like it's you look like human, but you have alien. Well, I don't know if you guys ever looked into that, but I was looking into that the last time, and they said if they break down our DNA, human sapien, right? DNA. I think I was telling you about it the last time, where it's an alien. We have alien DNA in us. Most of us do. That's what I'm saying. Like it's crazy when you break it down, but he says like they're already here. Some of them are hybrids. We all coexist. There's like the reptilians, the lizard people, and they say a lot of top elite people are some of those. And there has been instances where you catch them, you know, on footage or on the TV that their eyes.
Oh
Yeah,
I've
you
seen
see that a lot on social media.
Yeah.
Again,
It's a big rabbit hole.
Because I feel like it's like a big margin of it. You know what I mean? Like it's not just one kind.
And yeah,
It's so many different.
and those footages you say, you have people like their eyes are like twitching, and then they lock into something.
Right.
And they're like out in space
Yeah.
for like 5 minutes.
Well, have you seen the
I don't
Or
know,
the
I don't know.
reptilian ones.
Elizabeth?
Have you seen the reptilian ones where
Yeah.
their
Queen
eyes
Elizabeth?
se ponen así?
Queen Elizabeth le ha salido like where when she smiles, se le hacen los teeth así como like.
Really?
Reptilians.
I mean, I know that sometimes there's
AI.
fake
AI.
stuff on
Yeah.
there. We get it. You know, we don't believe everything we see or hear. At least I don't. But when there's a lot of it, going around,
a lot of evidence.
you have to at least be
Open-minded.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look at. Have you seen the church as well? When they zoom out, the way it looks
What church?
into. I think it's in Italy. It's one of the, I think it's in Italy. When
The
you
Catholic Church.
Yeah, when you zoom out, the appearance of it looks like a snake.
Mhm.
It has a vision of a snake. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like reptilians or
Amongst
Amongst us.
Mhm.
I think so for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, so the other thing I wanted to finish saying is, so he said that they're already here. They're going to be well known within the 5 years. And he says, why do you think there's so many more sightings now?
Mhm.
He's like, there's so many more UFOs now. There's so many more, because he's like, they're
not
preparing you guys. Yeah.
little by little.
Little by little, they're mentally preparing us so that when the time comes, we won't be freaking out. we'll be like, oh, it's just a UFO, or oh, it's just an alien passing by. You know, like that's what he's saying.
And not illegal alien.
No,
no,
alien.
Those have been around.
Those have been here.
That's why Trump's trying.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic right there.
Hey, let Trump handle it.
It's because when you said they were going to be more kind, well, we used to see them every day.
They're going to be around us.
We're here.
They're going to be around us.
So, how would you guys react if you do see a gray, let's say? Let me explain. They're called grays.
Oh, perdón.
Some certain type of aliens.
different types of aliens. Yeah. I feel like I don't know.
Would you freak out? Run?
I think initially I would freak out, but I don't think I would run. I think I would like stand my ground, and see if it approaches or what it does. Because I mean, I feel like if you run, I mean, come on.
What if he says
they're gonna freaking get you no matter what?
I need to.
Like I feel like no, and sometimes I think of that like when I'm like in my yard because you know how it's big, and then like sometimes when it's pitch, I'll go out pitch black to get something from the laundry room. Yeah, pitch black, and it's like black, and I'm like,
start looking around. Like,
yeah, I'm like, fuck, what if I saw something right now?
Have you seen the movie Signs?
Yes.
That's a good movie, huh?
Yeah, that's a good time. So that's what like the grays look like.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly like that. So it is scary, as I'm saying, but it just depends to what their intentions are. Like, because in that movie they made it look like those things were trying to hurt them, kill them. But like, what are the intentions behind it? Like, are they just observing us, or are they? I've heard of stories of people being abducted. Like on Netflix, there's a bunch of documentaries about it. But there's so many people that were abducted for good causes. Like they had back injuries, they had leg injuries, and then supposedly like they do surgeries on them, they fix them, they bring them back, and they're brand new. So then that would be the other defining point. Like, what are their intentions?
And I don't think there's any way you can say, oh, it's the government doing all this. How?
No, I feel like they have control of whatever.
Because I'm a big fan of X-Files.
Yeah.
You ever seen X-Files?
Yeah.
The show?
I watched a little bit of it. I didn't get it too deep into it.
It's really, I mean, there's, I don't know, 6, 7 seasons.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But they also go into that type of stuff.
Ooh.
Which is why it's called the X-Files, right?
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly the FBI has this department that, only...
But you asked the question, so what would you do?
Yeah, what would you do if you saw one?
You say, hi, my name is...
Because ya sabemos qué hicieras si mira un espíritu, pero ¿qué vas a hacer si miras un alien?
Un alien.
Shit. After shitting my pants?
Yeah.
You mean?
Would you freeze or would you run?
I would run.
Honey,
The hell with that?
It's gonna get you in like
No,
2 seconds.
You don't know what they're gonna do.
Oh.
Hey, he's gonna be thinking he's running all fast
And he's standing in the same spot.
Yeah, slow speed.
If you're running backwards.
Yeah, they'd get you in a second, sir.
Well, we don't know. You don't know. We don't know what they're...
They have long legs.
What if they let you run until you get tired and then they're like in front of you?
They jump, they crawl.
What was all that running for?
You don't know if they're fast only in their aircraft, but maybe down here they're slow.
So you'll run.
So I'll test that method. Catch me, bitches.
Yeah, he's gonna run.
You're gonna put your knees to the test.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna test the knees out.
Oh, is that why you're saving them?
Yes.
In case of that?
He's like,
I'm not gonna mess
do.
around and see what the heck. No.
But if they're super fast and they have all this, they're more advanced than us. You don't think they'll catch you, or they just?
Yeah, I think.
Hey, at least I'll try. I ain't gonna just stand
He
there.
ain't going
I
down without a
I'm
fight.
not gonna stand there and say.
I wouldn't run.
You wouldn't run, amigo?
I wouldn't run.
What would
I'll
you do?
just...
It's because,
Hey,
but
here comes Kong.
hold on, but you don't know if it's an alien or an evil spirit.
Oh no, sangre.
So how are you gonna find out?
Stand there.
Nope. For me, the way I find out by running.
You know how I'll find out?
If they catch him, they catch him.
How do you think I'll find out?
You'd gonna bring out your prayers from
Heck yeah, I'll
from her phone.
Heck yeah, I'll start praying for that thing.
If it goes away,
Yeah, she'd
it's
be
an
like,
evil being. If
Name
not,
of
shit.
Jesus, you're God. Yeah.
their prayer.
If not, I'll say, look, you don't want me. My knees hurt, my back hurts, my hips hurt.
Unless they're gonna fix
I'm
you.
all jacked
Well,
up.
I spend a lot of money.
They're like, we'll fix you, don't worry.
I'm going through premenopause, so what do you want?
Yeah, what do you want with
He's
me?
gonna be like, hold on, we're trying to get that guy.
Not
You stay here.
yet.
We're gonna catch up to him right now.
What would
The
you
bald
do,
guy.
amigo?
Nah, I would just stand there.
You would?
Yeah, just face it. Fuck it.
Fuck it, take me. He's like,
Come on,
take me
baby.
out
What you
already.
gotta do
Walk
is do it.
over
Fuck it.
Maybe when it does happen, then you might turn around and shit.
Nah. I'm ready for anything.
I mean,
It'd
if
just be like the life left him.
so
I
what's
could
more
already,
what's more scarier?
already see him.
For them to be tall or short?
Tall. For me, tall.
Yeah.
Like if they're super tall, I'd be like, oh fuck. You know, because you're like,
She's
done.
Like scared of short.
Like short
I've been
and
there,
con una patada.
¿Qué me va a hacer?
Que me va a hacer una patadita y vuela hasta back to the UFO.
Pero cuando le salieron los pinches duendes.
Yeah, I was a kid. Yeah, I was a little kid.
What was called again?
Duendes.
Los duendes.
They're like dwarfs.
Dwarfs.
Yeah, dwarfs.
Leprechaun.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know. Imagine. ¿Qué haríamos? La verdad, we say things, but
I wouldn't run. I would just stand there and fucking wait for whatever's coming. Like,
But because
and supposedly they communicate with you with telekinesis.
That's
Because
what
you know
I
they're like what they
Yeah.
speak is not words. So they say that they like automatically like they communicate with you like that's fucking crazy.
So a lot of people, especially Christian people or Catholic people, would say, you know, is that God talking to you, speaking to you, or
No,
is
not
that the devil?
necessarily.
But you never know how aliens operate.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a freaking alien talking to you.
Well, in my case, I would make sure that it's not something demonic, and then obviously if it's not, then you know.
How do you know? If it's coming
simple.
towards you, a big ass
very
alien
simple.
looking, no.
Yes, it is, because the Bible tells you what to do. It's there's no in between. It's very simple.
So let's say you pray, you do whatever, and that shit's still coming.
Then
at
it's
you.
not a demon.
Then
That's an
that's when-
alien.
that's when you tell
Holy
them,
shit, this
"Run."
shit's real.
She runs.
Run! Wait for me, Ellie.
No, I think I would kind of be more like, porque if it's not and it's there, it's gonna get me anyway. Why am I gonna take, you know?
Because they choose you, right? It's like
Yeah,
the people
for a
that have
reason.
been abducted
I
is
don't wanna know why
they're
they choose
yeah.
me.
They're
I don't want to find
chosen.
out.
But then,
But how do you know
Me
that you
meten el dedo por el
haven't?
culo.
Hey,
No, this guy.
you know, a lot of the
That's a
abductions have been overnight when one partner is
Yes.
asleep, and then they put you right back, and so many people don't even know you were ever abducted. Like that's the crazy part, that the partner doesn't even feel. There were so many files and that thing that I was telling you I watched on Netflix where los agarraban de la cama. Se los llevaban, like you say, to them it feels like 5 minutes, but maybe 5-6 hours have passed by, and they would bring them right back. So sometimes you wouldn't know. You know how a lot of people discovered it once a lot of people started doing what's that thing with the psychologist that they that they put you to sleep, hypnotist. Yeah, that's when people discovered what the things that had happened to them.
Oh yeah,
Because they were put under, and they're saying the story, like everything, every single act of how they saw it, of what happened. So that's how people realized it.
Honey, if you wake up y te
No
duele
está.
el culo, no fui yo, ¿ok? No fui yo.
Fue el alien que te
Ay, my
picó toda la
You were gone for
noche.
6 hours.
No,
¿Y si te pasa a ti?
no, I mean,
Fue el
Si te
alien.
duele el fundido,
Fue el alien.
no fue el
alien.
alien.
No fue mí,
No
fueron
fue
los
el alien,
aliens.
fue el
It was a
alien.
Chinese food you ate the day before. Fuiste al baño y no te acordaste.
Imagine.
Pues sí.
Massive
ay
diarrhea.
cabrón, este joto también.
That would be nice if it happened to them, huh? Mejor.
Yeah,
Que
que
les
se-
picaran el fundido ahí.
I
would be
think
nice.
they know so chicken shit when it comes to that. Fuck that guy. I gotta be screaming all
Hey,
the time.
a él no le pudiera dar un putazo. Remember he says que da un putazo if you go near him.
Oh yeah. So will you
knock
try
out
your
the-
hand in the face?
I'll
Yeah.
try.
Because he said if Lily goes near his ass,
No,
Then I'll have a black
she'll
eye.
have a black eye. He's like,
yeah,
Yeah,
that's a no-go zone, no flat zone.
it's a no-no
So you're gonna
zone.
give a black eye to the alien?
Yeah, allá lo que whoever
Yeah.
do your thing.
He's like, unless, is it a girl alien?
Girl
O lo vas a dejar si es...
Tampoco.
Si es un girl alien, lo vas a
No.
dejar.
Yeah,
Who
so
gets
not even that.
sidetracked?
It takes community.
It
That's
takes a
all-
It takes a village.
It takes a village.
That's only an exit.
No hay entrada, nomás salida.
Wow. So now I'm curious. Do our listeners believe in aliens?
Yeah, do you guys
So
believe in
if
aliens?
you have a weird experience,
Share it with us.
let us know on Instagram, by email. If Instagram, I know Instagram doesn't give you a whole lot to,
Type up.
yeah, and you have a good story for us to tell, we'll share it with everybody. Send us an email at between4migos@gmail.com. Let us know, because we're all interested. Those are stories, at least for me, I love those stories.
They fascinate.
Aliens, I love that.
And then you can really get into it once you start doing research or you start.
Well, it's like going down a rabbit hole.
It just opens
So
up.
much. Because it dates back, like we said, like 50s.
Because a
you
lot
know?
of
yeah.
they're,
Way
they're
back then.
recently
Way
talking
back
about
then.
the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki were here. They
Mhm.
were a civilization that were also alien.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they, according to whatever I've seen, is they taught. Well, they made us their slaves. You know, the evolution. They were talking about how they were made us slaves. They were coming here to Earth to look for gold. So they created. They helped us create the DNA that we are today, or the Mayans and all of it, the Egyptians. So they kind of fucked with our DNA in order for them to make us.
We have some of their DNA on us.
So, but it's crazy because a lot of that is barely being talked about. But like everything that we were discussing was from the 80s, 70s, and
right.
Movies were coming out, stuff was coming out to kind of like get us,
prepare us mentally.
Yeah, you have all those directors and producers that believe in that, but they can't cross that line.
Right, exactly.
So they'll throw hands, they'll make these movies, and sometimes make them funny and stupid.
Yeah.
But their point is out there.
Right.
What's that?
And it's people that are now breaking them down.
Yeah.
You know, have you seen this movie? It talks about this. And these are movies that came out 10, 20 years ago.
But even recent ones, what's that movie that you like to watch with our kid? World War, what is it?
War
of the Worlds?
Is that one with aliens, right?
Was it End of the World or?
Tom Cruise?
Yes.
Yeah,
that one's a crazy
War
one.
of
That's
the
what I'm saying.
Worlds,
Like, that's crazy.
Oh, World of the Worlds.
And I feel like that's what the government was probably afraid of back then. Because it's like if they didn't comply or come into an agreement, like that could happen possibly. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's crazy to even think of that. But I feel like movies for sure always give us a little heads up of what's
it's like with
going
everything,
on.
even with politics, they'll do movies.
Yeah. Like the Civil
Wait, do
War
the Simpsons
and all
talk
those.
about aliens? Because
Oh,
you know
I
the
know.
Simpsons, they say that everything.
It's in their cartoons all the time.
Really?
Yeah, the two aliens that are up. Have you seen it? You never seen it? There's two little aliens in a spaceship, and they're always like, it just randomly pops up. In
Really?
Cartoon, yeah.
Wow.
When something's going on or whatever, they're like all these Earthlings or whatever. You know what I mean? But they do come out. They do come out. Even like, remember Bugs Bunny? They have an alien. Marvin.
Oh, sí. Yes, I remember.
Esas son de ustedes. Esas caricaturas.
No, yo las miré with my older family.
And Bugs Bunny.
I caught them on a VHS.
Yeah.
Years later.
No, but you saw what
that was
You no
the
sabía
shit.
Bugs
Marvin the
Bunny.
Martian, he was funny as shit.
Yeah.
But it was an alien. You didn't see those, amiga?
No.
No?
Whatever. You know you watch some reruns.
No, I just knew because of him and the Tasmanian Devil. Y quién sabe qué.
The Looney Tunes?
Looney Tunes,
Those were the best cartoons.
Of course. And they were actually made for adults. Don't forget.
Really?
Yeah. Even like Tom and Jerry.
Oh, that's what he loves.
They're made for adults. Yeah.
Tom and Jerry.
Did you watch Tom and Jerry, amiga?
I don't think so. When was that?
When was
that? Was that in the 80s
Whatever.
or in the 90s?
What did you watch?
That was
I
like
don't
in the
remember
40s.
honestly what I watched. I don't even know what that. I grew up with Rugrats.
Oh, the Rugrats.
I grew up with Care Bears,
Oh, yeah.
Winnie the Pooh.
Strawberry
Caribbeans
Shortcake.
were
Strawberry
way
Shortcake.
before that, too. They were a long time.
In the 80s.
Oh, yeah. maybe.
Care Bears are 80s.
Yeah.
Well, those are our
But
time.
you what, 86?
86.
Yeah.
So technically I wasn't watching cartoons until
The 90s,
almost the
really?
90s.
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Anyway.
She wasn't really watching cartoons. She was watching
Novelas.
no, what are they called? The like high school.
Oh, like Saved by the Bell and all that
Oh,
stuff?
yeah. Because I grew up like Fresh Prince of Bell-Air. Oh, I love... Saved by the Bell, I liked it.
It's so
It was okay,
corny.
but I really liked Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Bel-Air.
Sister.
Sister.
Yeah, that I grew up with like that kind of stuff right there.
That
Yeah.
was pretty
Did you watch 90210?
No, that was him.
Oh, see?
I remember he knew the cast of 90210. He knew all the
That was
cast.
their number one
yeah.
fan.
What's that?
Yeah.
What was the character that you liked, amigo?
Which one did
90210.
no me acuerdo.
Yeah,
Ah,
no
no
sé
te
cuál.
¿Te
hagas.
acuerdas? No te
Ahí
hagas, no te
A
hagas.
mí me gustaba la nerdy girl.
Oh,
With
Gabriel,
the glasses?
está
Yeah.
Andrea.
Okay.
Yeah. I used to
Everybody
watch
likes the
it.
nerdy girls, huh?
I did.
Yeah. They like him with glasses.
Mine was.
I know. O sea, let me go get my glasses.
Mine
real
was.
quick.
¿Cómo se llamaba? Well, the show it was
Dylan?
Brandon. No,
Oh,
that was
Brandon?
Dylan. Brandon. I like the preppy ones.
Oh.
Because it was hardworking.
Hardworking.
I didn't diner.
I like actually. Homie,
Le gusta el pelo.
actually, my honey here in the 90s, he had the hairstyle
Oh.
Yeah, the
when he had hair.
Pues te digo que le
back in
compres
high
Surfer
school.
Boy.
un chupé
No,
y
back
se
in
lo
high
pegamos.
school, I had the,
Y vida.
The 90210 Brandon. I had a
We'll put
Brandon.
some glue and
Brandon
just...
Dylan.
the whole What?
Luego que le compre el peluquín and we'll just crop it on him.
Listen, we're talking about aliens. We're not talking about goddamn fucking 90210. How the hell we get there?
I don't know how you
Wait,
guys got
have you
there.
been
Y'all
to high
started
Y'all
school?
can't
asking.
stick to a
Huh?
damn
Have
topic.
you drove by the high school?
No.
I think it burned down, but we went when like
The aliens
last year?
burned it down.
The aliens fucking
The
burned it
aliens
down.
burned that shit down.
Se acabó.
No, but we drove by it, and I had to play the song. Da-da-na-na. You know how it starts off?
Anyways,
Sorry.
extraterrestrials, please.
Oh,
UFOs,
oh.
aliens.
Aliens,
Did you
UFOs.
guys see what they discovered in Egypt? Like this underground tunnel with all these new like tombs and then there's
No.
water down there.
Real water?
Yeah,
Why?
it's crazy. I just recently saw it, so I don't know too much about it, but I heard about it. It's like,
And it's crazy the technology. Well, not really
How?
technology, but the engineering back then.
yes.
Pero cómo?
People,
That's how I say
scientists
Yeah,
nowadays
so-
and engineers don't know
Like
how
the
the hell.
the
it was
Egypt, the
exactly-
pyramids, how by hand?
Yeah.
There was
And
no
they were so
tools back
precise.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So precise.
So
and
it's
so
like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they had to come from
Yeah,
another
and
planet.
the
all
limestone.
those
There,
things.
this is one of the things that you just mentioned. I just saw the video.
Mhm.
It was like 500. I think was it 500 miles away, where the limestone had to move from this point to where the
Right,
pyramids
yeah.
were built.
wow.
Yeah. So how in the world?
Because
would they move
where
it
they
back
were
then?
at, it was pure sand. So the stone was way farther away. So they had to.
It's like,
No,
look,
that's
I don't care
Egypt.
how rich that place was, or the king was, or whoever it was. Knowing you have to bring something from 500 miles away, you know, with just people dragging it. I mean, you can't be that cruel either.
No.
You know?
But it's
There's no way.
impossible if you break it down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Well, no,
impossible.
it's possible knowing how they did it, but it's impossible to think.
But I don't
But
think
they
it was
did it.
humans
With-
that did it
with-
with what they had.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
technology.
Porque
I
tenían-
believe it would be possible nowadays
Because-
in today's
Because
day.
supposedly
The
they
machines
would
and
put
everything.
round like rocks
Yeah, yeah.
underneath.
Yeah.
The what is it? Tree stumps.
Yeah,
Uh-huh,
those-
uh-huh.
Just
roll
take
them.
them out, put it on.
that
the
would
front.
take like years.
Oh,
just
yeah.
to do.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
that's
That's the world we live in, man. I believe
Yeah,
in
it's
aliens, you know.
crazy.
And this is what I want to do. I want to go to an open area,
Bye.
right? I want to go to spend the night out there, like in a
Yeah.
tent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Mr.
down.
Nature?
But
¿Quieres ir a ver?
no,
Yes.
no lights. It has
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be
yeah.
no near the city or anything.
No, we have to go to Joshua Tree to do that.
Yeah, we can do that.
That's like-
And just stare,
Dark.
just stare, record the sky.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna see.
Eli,
people.
you'll be snoring in 2 minutes, but
En una tent, eh? A
Yeah.
ver.
Yeah, and yeah, there's gonna be shooting stars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That you know, but you're gonna see some freaky shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Really?
That's what
But
I
it
want.
does have to be somewhere where like that you have access to the sky is clear.
Clear.
And also
clear.
access to 911.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Que
So
tengan
tired.
los-
If I see something,
yeah, tengan-
I'm calling it in.
You better get your running shoes.
Yeah.
What about that thing that's in Vegas?
oh, Area 51.
Yeah. Have you guys ever been there?
Well,
No,
they're really
you
let
can't.
you.
You can't
can't?
go there. No.
No.
But I'm sure I think you can you could drive by, but you can't get close to it because the military.
What are
has
you
a
guys'
guard.
thoughts on that?
I mean,
Ay.
I mean, back in the 40s, I think 50s, anything that they would find,
Mm-hmm.
they would take it there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it was just for aliens, but I'm sure they have weapons. They're
Yeah.
developing
Other
weapons,
stuff. Mhm.
airplanes, stuff like that. But it's also a place where they would take stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you know the people that work for that area, they don't drive to work, right?
They stay there?
No, they fly them.
Oh, really?
And we've seen the planes when we've been to Vegas.
So every
They're-
day?
Every
they're
day,
flying
right?
to
They
work?
fly. They leave it like park their car
These
somewhere.
are people who are coming from a different city. Let's say San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
You see that a lot. There's a plane that does not have a tail number,
Nothing. It's all white.
Mm.
so no identification at all.
Wow.
So those are the ones that fly to Area 51, the workers, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So they, I
That's
guess, I
crazy.
assume they park at an airport.
And
Yeah, and they're just flying.
and you've seen them. Like if you look it up on YouTube or whatever.
No, we've
You'll
seen
see
them when
those
we went to
planes.
Vegas. We
Yeah.
saw a few.
Wow,
Mhm.
that's crazy. I
And,
didn't
we're
know
like,
that.
yeah, and somebody did say, I asked, like a local, like, yeah, those are the planes that walk at Area 51.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, wow. Because somebody told me, and I didn't believe them. I stopped like, they're like, no, for real. So I asked the worker, he goes, yeah, those are planes that fly. They're
Wow.
working for Area 51. You know, tienen nada. They're just white.
Yeah.
That's it, white.
Wow, that's crazy.
Crazy stories.
But no, I would not. If you guys go, have fun. Let me know. Send me videos.
¿Tú
So-
sí vas?
Yeah, I'm down.
You would go.
Yeah.
You would go with me then?
I think I would be down
Yeah.
because it's like kind of just you're like sightseeing, you know. Well, almost like sightseeing, but you're freaking looking for something else.
Yeah,
I would be down.
Well,
I would do that.
sometimes like you're not looking and it happens.
Yeah.
usually when you go looking, you
don't find out.
You know where there's that's true. You know where there's a very hot spot también is Sedona, Arizona, because they say there's a lot of action there. Like
we should take a trip and then give a second podcast of this
to see if we see anything.
Sedona's
So I mean,
so if you guys do the podcast and I'm not here, y'all know why.
They abducted his ass. They went to go experiment on his ass. Hey, te lo van a regresar como nuevo, con pelo y toda la casa.
Hey, how do you say something cuatro en English?
I know. He's gonna come back a new man, girl.
Now, for you.
Hoy dice mi amiga que te van a regresar como Brandon.
Te van a regresar como Brandon Walsh.
From 90210.
Good knees, good back.
Que se lo lleven los aliens.
Some hair.
They're gonna send you an email saying, pick them up at the Peach Pit.
Oh, the Peach Pit, the restaurant.
So,
that was funny.
Anyway, that's what's short for today.
Wow.
Yes, that was the show. What do you guys, let us know if anyone believes in aliens, if anyone's seen aliens. Drop a comment or email us messages.
That is
the road?
Top secret.
Oh, yes,
top secret.
Yeah, maybe conspiracies and stuff like that, right? I know there's a lot of conspiracies out there. Crazy ones, but
if it is top secret, remember it stays between 4 migos.
Yeah, it stays here. Let us know. And then thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, you guys can find us on TikTok, Instagram. We're on iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube. Did I miss anything else? Apple Podcasts. We're under Between 4 Migos. Same if you guys want to email us your stories or your thoughts, between4migos@gmail.com.
You might find us in Area 51 someday.
Yes, you may see
These
us.
two, but not me. No, that's amiga.
Mugshots with these exact
I know, right? All these shirts, all of us. And then make sure you guys follow. We all have our business accounts. If you guys want to know a little bit more of us, of our business, my business account is you can find me on Instagram, glamgirl_86MUA. Or if you want to know more about facials, body sculpting, my other business is GG_beauty services. So you guys can find me there.
Well, I'm under Madera Azul. I'm starting a woodworking page. So you can find me there on Instagram. That's all I have.
And that's how it is, just Madera Azul.
Madera Azul, yes.
Okay.
And for any party event that you guys are looking, remember, escuchamos, vemos y no juzgamos. We'll watch, hear, but we won't judge you. You could follow us on Instagram and on TikTok at Make a Memory PB. Is it at gmail.com? I believe so. Yes, at gmail.com.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
See you later.
Until next
Bye.
time.
Bye-bye.